Hello everyone, welcome to this video on my channel. The World Cup is in a matter of days coming, and before or it begins, I better give you my score predictions for each of the first games of every team. So let's start on the opening day with the hosts. I suppose, well, Qatar, they have a rough group. They have probably one of the worst cases scenarios in terms of the teams they could have got. Ecuador are the weakest of them all, but still strong for a pot four team. In a normal circumstance, I would say Ecuador win. If it's on a neutral venue, I would pick an Ecuador win. But the fact that it is at home in Qatar, I think Qatar do have an advantage. They've got the crowd behind them. Shouldn't affect the result too much. I'm gonna say, I think Qatar. I think they'll set up with five at the back, and what that will do for Ecuador is they'll struggle to do what they do best in terms of their attacking play. They won't get a lot of space. I do think it will be a close one, though. So I am going to say it will be Qatar 2, Ecuador 1. And now let's get on to the other game. I think this will be a tight one, a cagey one. The Dutch don't have the strike force that they did have. Even Depay's not available or hasn't been playing very much. And then Senegal, Sadio Mane, we don't know if this is going to be low scoring. I think the Dutch will get a goal. But do I go with Senegal to score? I think the Netherlands are pretty well set up defensively. Oh dear. Do I go with a 1-0 or a 1-1? I'll go 1-0 Netherlands, just about, because I think they probably just have enough to get this first win. So let's get on to Group B, where we got the first game of Day 2, England versus Iran. Again, I've got a few options of what I could go with. I've got both of these teams going through, so it is going to be difficult for England, especially with Iran with Carlos Queiroz, and then Taremi Azmoun up front with Yakan Bashin behind. It's going to be difficult. It is going to be difficult. England, of course, do have the better players generally. Also, Iran have a good goalkeeper as well. England didn't concede any goals from the group stage of Euro 2020, so it might be a bit something similar here. I am going to say, if Dragan Skojicic was coach, I'd have said 2-0 England, and I'm considering 2-0, 2-1, but I think it'll be 1-0 England. I think they'll get a goal in the first half. England will have some chances that will either be, some will be saved, others will be defended well by Iran, and Iran will have their moments, but either Pickford will save or it just isn't to be. But I'm going to go 1-0, or hopefully England win for me, as I'm going to be at that game. And next we've got USA versus Wales. After Wales were confirmed as opponent, I was thinking a 2-1 win for USA, but USA have been getting worse since they've qualified. And I think you probably have to back Wales on this. But I do think this is a must-win game for both. Could go 2-1 to either way, but I think it will be a 1-1 draw. I think USA's quality, I'd say, is a bit better, but from a managerial point of view, Wales are definitely the better in terms of how they set up. I think USA will probably enjoy the first half more in terms of their chances. And I think Rob Page will probably be able to analyse more in the game what USA's weak points are, which I think he'll know beforehand. But I think Wales will need some time before they get a goal, and I think after that it goes either way. But I think it will be a draw. And now to Group C. First, we've got Argentina versus Saudi Arabia. I do think this is going to be closer than it may seem on paper, because Hervé Renard sets Saudi Arabia up very well. Goal scoring is the main concern, though, for Saudi Arabia. Also, Argentina with Messi, Lautaro Martinez, Angel Di Maria, plus other attacking options. They're going to have the majority of the ball, the majority of the chances. But I do think Saudi Arabia will make it difficult. I'm going to say a 2-0 win for Argentina. And then Mexico versus Poland. This is a game that can go either way. Both have their weak points from a playing and a mental point of view. Poland perhaps have the best individual players. I think Mexico have a little bit extra in their quality, and also they're experienced in World Cups. Certainly a tournament team, group stage wise, and Poland often don't do. In Robert Lewandowski's time at Poland have gone out of one group stage. But in this game, just about going to go a 2-1 win for Mexico. But it is close. And now on to Group D, Tunisia versus Denmark. Tunisia, I think, will absorb most of the pressure, maybe not have too many chances. But I do think they're good enough not to get battered by Denmark here. I mean, Tunisia might have some moments, but I think what Denmark have is good, and I think a 2-0 win in for them is a fair result. Now, France, at their best, they can steamroll Australia, but they've got some flaws that they've got to overcome. Great attack in Benzema, Mbappe, and Griezmann can show up, and the midfield options can certainly help with the goals. I do think Australia is a good team for them to start with. If they're at their best, they could certainly win by much bigger, but I think I will go with a 3-0 win for France, because I think even if they don't play that well, I do think them taking their chances is something that they're capable of doing based on who they've got. And now we go on to let's go to Group F first. Morocco versus Croatia. I think this will be a competitive game. Certainly, Morocco have their players with such as Hakimi, Boufal, Nesri. You might say Hakim Ziyech as well. Who am I going to go with? I'm going to say Croatia because I think tactically they're in a better place with Zlatko Dalic, and as well as with their experienced players such as Luka Modric and Marcelo Brozovic. It'll be an interesting game, but I think Croatia have got this. And we go to Group E, starting with Germany versus Japan. I think this will be an interesting game. Japan could be defensively solid. They could go toe-to-toe with Germany. Germany haven't been as good as we're used to under Hansi Flick, with the last international break not being so great, having lost at home to Hungary and conceded 3 against England. Both Germany and Spain have struggled for goals lately, but the difference I think for Germany is that they can get goals from wide areas and the central attacking midfield position. I think it'll be close. I think Japan will give a good game. I'm going to just about go 3-2 because I think Germany do have some extra quality, but I think Japan can run them close. And I definitely think they could do something within the later games. So next we go to Spain versus Costa Rica. Before the Nations League, I was thinking 2-0 Spain. That seemed about the right result. Spain will have more of the ball, more of the chances. Pedri and Gavi, I expect, will be effective. Costa Rica, Navas is a brilliant goalkeeper. I believe they'll go with a back five, which will help set them up well. It's going to be difficult, similar to, even more so to when Sweden had essentially parked the bus and then had a few attacking opportunities. Costa Rica will need to take whatever chances they get. But to be honest, I am tempted to put this 0-0. But because up front they have been struggling. Like Alvaro Morata, he'll score when it really does matter most, such as when he got that. I think I don't know if he got against Poland, but two key examples was when he got that equaliser against Italy in the semi-finals, and he scored that late winner against Portugal. Gerard Moreno's not there. There's not really much standout strikers like Ansu Fati, who's like this, but probably the best attacking player they've got. I think Spain can find a way, but don't give them too much chances. I'll give them a 1-0 victory. And now let's round off Group F with Belgium versus Canada. Belgium, I think, won't be as good as they were 4 years ago, but I don't think they'll be by any means a bad team. Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield, amongst their other good options, such as with Witsel, I believe Dendoncker, Carrasco. I'm sure Hazard will want to prove a point as well. And then you got Canada, who favourites to they're expected to be fourth on average. From average, the predictions I've seen. Alphonso Davies will be effective on that left side. Dejan Buchanan and what's the other player? Jonathan David of Lille. They'll be good strikers. I think it'll be close, but I think Belgium will find a way to give themselves breathing spaces. And I am going to go with a 3-1 win for Belgium. And now on to Group G, where we got Switzerland versus Cameroon. Onana is a goalkeeper that will be difficult to score against, maybe often. And then Jan Sommer looks like he's going to be starting, maybe Cabell. For Switzerland have a good midfield, and Bolo's a good striker. I don't know if Seferovic is going, but he proved that he can do something against France. I don't think Switzerland will grind results, but perhaps won't be as free-flowing as Brazil and Serbia. But I do think they are the better side overall. They will have to watch over Choupo-Moting and Abubakar, but I think they've got enough in them, and I've got them having a 2-0 win. I don't think they'll batter Cameroon, but I do think they'll prove themselves to be the better team. And now we've got Brazil versus Serbia. This will be an interesting one. Brazil have an excellent attack. Serbia, their strengths lie in midfield and central attacking midfield. They've got some good strikers as well. Kostic is a brilliant wide player. Maybe Tadic plays on the other side. And Vlahovic and Mitrovic are good strikers as well. They'll be looking to exploit Brazil's fullbacks, which are the least great part about their squad, which even then aren't bad, but you'll probably be Juventus players who've struggled this season. So that's probably where they're going to exploit. But Serbia don't exactly have the best defence either. I think a downgrade on what they had in 2019. They'll give it a good go, but I think Brazil will prove to be the stronger team. I am going to say 3-1 to them. And finally, we go to the other Group H, where we have start off with Uruguay versus South Korea. I'm torn on this result. I think South Korea, don't write them off. They're a dark horse to make it out the group. Not go further, but them and Ghana, I think, have a fair chance of doing something. Against Uruguay, they've got some good strikers in Nunes, Suarez, and Cavani. Will the service be there for them? I'm thinking a draw or a narrow win for Uruguay. I think South Korea might nick something. I will go with a 1-1 draw. I think Uruguay will be the better team, but Son will have, or maybe one of the centre backs will have a moment, and I'm going to go 1-1 draw. Now, Portugal versus Ghana. This is, I think, the one game I'm kind of confident in which way it's going to go. Fernando Santos isn't a good manager. Also, Ghana, but Portugal have some good attacking assets. It's just about how can they use them effectively. And then we don't know what we're going to get from this Ghana team. A lot of their players haven't fully gelled together, haven't played too many games. And Portugal did show against Turkey that they can and show some attacking in nature, and I think they'll probably expose Ghana towards the beginning, and maybe they'll have some fast counter-attacks that will get them goals. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win for Portugal. Not confident on the score, but I do think Portugal will win. So these were my predictions overall. What do you think? What would you change? Leave your predictions in the score or below. And the World Cup is kicking off very, very soon. Peace out.